behind us is the Minories Pond, and this is where 1935 Graham Balcombe, Mossy Powell and the rest of the gang assembled here to test and train to use the CB Gorman standard dress diving equipment. Once the guys had moved diving operations from training here and they went down to Wookey Hole, they set their dive base up in Chamber 3, which is exactly where we've set our dive base up for the painting. Now, obviously with standard dress divers, they're tethered with an air line to a hand pump and hand air pump, and they're also tethered. Graham Balcombe also had a comms unit, old-fashioned comms unit. He had a phone line to his helmet. These guys are in standard dress, brass helmets, lead boots. So Graham came up with this idea of building a trapeze with some oil drums that they could inflate with air from the spit cocks on the side of the standard dress helmets. One of those oil drums that they used in 1935 is in the silt about 2 meters to the right of the line.
I've been very honoured to be asked to come here and to paint in the caves where they initially entered. And we hope to do a painting in Chamber 3 and in Chamber 7. Many people ask me why do I go to these extreme locations to paint in places where no one's ever painted before. And it's that core reason why I go, because no one has ever painted before. And I think that's why it gives me stimulation, it gives me inspiration. And if I wasn't there in that location, I don't think I could create the paintings that I do. So each painting done in a location, in an extreme location, is very unique, without preconceptions of what is going to actually happen, what's going to happen on the canvas, and ultimately how it's going to turn out. And these things alone are actually a journey in itself. I'm mixing my palette before I go down, and I'm mixing my oil paint with a liquid gel, and because the water is relatively cold, I think it's around 10 degrees, I'm going to add a little bit more liquid than I normally would, because with the paint getting wet and cold, if I don't put enough liquid on, it will almost become rubber. What am I going to paint when I get down there? I don't know. I much prefer to get down there, settle myself, get used to the environment, and then inspiration just seems to flow.
Okay, so we're here at the resurgence of the River Axe, which is behind me. The river comes out of Wookey Hole cave and starts its journey on top of the Mendip Hills above us. We've been here for 3 days now, working with Philip Gray, doing some of the first underwater paintings in Wookey Hole itself. The history behind these paintings is really the original exploration from 1935 with Mossy Powell and Graham Balcombe that used standard dress diving equipment to push forward the exploration out of Chamber 3, which is what Philip was successfully caught on canvas with his paintings.
So here we are in Wookey Hole, the site of the world's very first cave dive in 1935. A sport that, especially in the last 2 years, has captured the imagination of many people with the Thai cave rescue and a few other high-profile cave dives that have taken place. Cave diving originally started as a way for people to explore beyond the flooded or sump sections of the caves in the UK. Nowadays many people cave dive for different reasons. I suppose some people cave dive because it seems to be the next step in their diving career. Some people cave dive because they feel it makes them important, it satisfies their ego. Some people cave dive because they want to challenge and stretch themselves. These are really not good reasons to go cave diving. These sorts of people tend to push themselves beyond the limits and into places that it's difficult for them to get out of. The people that we're interested in training and encouraging to take up the sport of cave diving are those people who have an insatiable curiosity. They're like the early mountaineers and explorers. They're like the cave divers who wanted to find out what lay beyond the next flooded section. We really want to encourage people who have a desire to explore, to experience the unknown, and to see what lies beyond. My own personal motivation for cave diving is to go beyond and find places that people have never been before, but also to experience the history and beauty of the caves. And this is something that you find in many cave divers who have a long history of exploration and safe diving.